is Skin Cancer Awareness Month, and the heat is soaring here in the UAE, so we need to have a bit of a check-in, remind ourselves about how much time we should spend in the sun and what we should all perhaps be doing every single day to protect ourselves. Dr. Shruti is with us today, specialist in the Department of Dermatology at the Al Barsha Medcare Medical Centre, here to take my questions and yours. How are you, Dr. Shruti?
I'm good, Helen. How are you?
I am well, thank you for asking. I'm curious, are we getting lots of skin cancer or suspected skin cancers coming through into clinic?
Yes, I would say suspected more because people are becoming more aware, and which is a good thing because it's one of the cancers which can be so easily picked up and contained, and which can prevent the spread. So yeah, I mean, people are becoming more aware, so that's a really good thing.
Good, it is a good thing. What's on your skin right now? Do you wear an SPF every day?
I do. I swear by SPF.
Right, so this is what I wanted to ask you, because I wear a tinted moisturiser and it's got SPF 40 in it, and I'm like, okay, pat on the head for me. Yeah. Do I need to be wearing extra sun protection?
Correct, yes, you need to. So see, sun protection is the SPF, which is of course the most important factor. So the American Academy of Dermatology recommends anything above SPF 30, but you also need to check in your sunscreen the UVA protection. Okay, so you need to see that it has a UVA+++, like, so, you're protected against both the sun rays. So most of the tinted moisturizers, they don't have that UVA protection.
I'm going to Google it when we've got the news later. Yeah. But I mean, I would imagine, and please come at me on 4001 if I'm wrong, the majority of people listening today didn't put on sun protection this morning.
And that's really unfortunate. And so many of my friends, they tell me, is it really important to use SPF? And, the same way like my tinted moisturizer has, and I'm just using an SPF 15. I'm skin of color. I don't need, SPF. And the most funny thing is, how many layers of moisturizer and sunscreen do I put on my skin? I don't have so much time,
Yes,
but
there's that.
Yeah. But really, I mean, SPFs, of course, it has a big role in protecting your skin from skin cancer, but also in aging, aging, skin, the sunburns, everything. It has a big role to play.
Also, not just the SPF, but, being in the sun at certain times of day and for certain amounts of time. What are the guidelines in terms of sun exposure? So
the sun, they say that you should avoid going out in the sun between 10 to 4, like 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And mostly that's the guideline that says it. Yeah.
What are to your mind, are some of the big myths or misconceptions about skin cancer that you're seeing, whether that's on social media or from clients coming into clinic, doctor?
So the most common is, like I said, the skin of color can't get skin cancer, which is a big myth. So it's seen, of course, the incidence is lesser, but the progression and how scary it is, it progresses faster in the skin of color, and it's more aggressive if it occurs in the skin of color. Second of all, most common myth is, that if I use SPF, I'm okay, I don't need additional protection, which is also not right. So SPF protects you, but it's not 100%. No SPF is 100%. So you need to seek shade. You need to prevent going out in the peak, the 10 to 4 time. Then the other one is, it's okay for kids to tan, it's okay for kids to go out in the sun and become red. No, I mean, of course, kids, you won't be able to see the results so fast, but they will eventually grow up and you'll be able to see, the effect of the redness, which will progress. And what else? What about
sunbeds? There was an incident in the UK just recently. A 43-year-old woman was diagnosed with a particular type of skin cancer due to sunbeds.
Yeah.
Now, I'm embarrassed to admit this. Sunbeds were a big thing in my teens and 20s, and I may have dabbled. I thought they were kind of not a thing anymore.
So, because they are in an enclosure, so the amount of UVA and UVB that is in the sunbeds is way more than what you would get naturally. So that's a big myth that sunbeds are okay and, they won't cause cancer.
What about demographics that perhaps are more at risk I mean, we can talk about nationalities or skin types and colouring, but what about, I don't know, any medications or, are there anything that we need to be aware of in that respect, Doctor?
So, of course, the family history is very important. If you've had a family history of skin cancer, then there are certain genetic conditions which are more prone to skin cancer, like if you have, I would not go in the details, but, if there's a genetic tendency, then, of course, if you've had more moles, then your chances become more because they are the ones that can progress to become skin cancer. And, of course, the ethnicity plays a big role. Caucasian skin, type 1, type 2 skin, which is the white skin that does not tan, that becomes red in the sun.
The Celtic.
Correct. So that's more prone.
A message here saying, I'm covered head to toe and I wear niqab as well, so my face is covered. Do I still need SPF? Your
face is also covered. Okay. And your hands?
Don't know about hands.
Yeah. So anything that comes in direct contact with, the sunlight, whether it's hands or the forehead, at least, you should put SPF on the exposed parts.
Okay. Now, I wanted to ask you about those red flags when it comes to spotting skin cancers. And as you said, and fantastic that people are coming in to have moles checked and any differences. So for anyone listening today, what are maybe a bit of a checklist for assessing our own skin before we come and see an expert like you?
So that's very important. First of all, you need to do a self-examination. So you need to see all the parts. You need even a back mirror to see your back. And then notice all the moles. If there's a new mole, then we call it the ABCDE. So you see the asymmetry. That is, if the both sides of a mole are similar, are symmetric. Border, if it's a regular border. Color, if you see different colors within the same mole. Diameter, if it is more than 0.6 mm, that is, the back of a pencil. If it's bigger than that, you need to get it checked. And elevation, of course, if it is elevated. And, if there's sudden change, if there's bleeding or anything like that, then you need to visit your dermatologist and get it checked.
Is that something that you do? Would you do mole mapping and removal?
Absolutely.
We've had a message saying, where can we find good dermatologists who specialise in skin cancer prevention? I've always been so surprised that most dermatologists in Dubai are mostly aesthetic specialists despite the unrelenting sunshine.
Oh, you can come to me.
Okay. I will send you number ending 884, Dr. Shruti's details.
Yeah.
So when someone's coming in, are you able to, do you do it by eye? Is there a gadget that you use?
So, of course, the eye is very important, but the most important is something we call as a dermoscope. So it kind of magnifies it and we're able to take pictures with it. And we see, with experience, the different, changes that we need to see. And, of course, if something is really suspicious, we need to, remove it with the margin and send it out for biopsy to see the changes.
Dr. Shruti with us this afternoon. She is a specialist in the Department of Dermatology at Medcare in Al Barsha. A message here saying, my daughter had a birthmark at birth, which has since faded. Do I need to be extra careful with that area of skin?
Extra careful in terms of sun exposure? Yes. I mean, see, most of these melanomas, they develop from the benign moles that we call. So, yes, you need to be more careful. That's all. And the regular things, not something, extraordinary. Also depends on the skin type, also depends on your family history. So,
what should we be looking for in, let's say, which I'm hoping to this weekend, I'm going to the beach.
Okay.
What should we be looking for in good sun protection, and how much should we be using?
Right. So that's the most asked question. So as I told you, most important is the SPF and the UVA. So anything above SPF 30, UVAA plus, and if you're going out in the sun, try to go, especially at the beach, try to have a physical sunscreen. So look for ingredients like zinc oxide and titanium. How much to use? So typically for the face and neck, you use 2 finger breadths. So like you put a thick line on your first finger, thick line on your second finger, and then you put it on your face and your neck, or a shot glass full of sunscreen.
That's a lot.
What
about reapplication?
Yes, so it needs to be reapplied every 2.5 to 3 hours, depending on what kind of SPF you're using.
Can I ask, a lot of people asking for your details, by the way. Can I ask about zinc sticks? Because that's what I use on my kids. They have like a 50 spray that I, all over them.
Yeah.
And then they often wear a hat. They sometimes don't wear a hat.
Yeah.
I do zinc stick on the tops of their cheeks, their noses. Would that count as a good physical barrier?
Yes, that's good.
Okay. They just like the colours. I'm not going to lie. That's what they like.
Yeah.
Message here saying, how early can you start using vitamin C? Can a 13-year-old start wearing vitamin C due to freckling to improve SPF efficacy?
Wow, when I was 13, I never thought about that.
Yeah, but this is the TikTok generation, Dr. Shruti. They know way more about skincare.
So there's no particular age that when you can start SPF 13. I mean, the vitamin C 13 is fine, but it's just that vitamin C is not for everybody. So if you have skin which is sensitive, skin which is more prone to acne, don't use it. Always see a dermatologist before you start any new skincare.
We're not on Facebook Live today, so people can't see your amazing skin. But I'm curious.
Thank you.
I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but I am curious. What does your skincare routine look like as a dermatologist?
So, of course, it starts with cleansing, moisturization, sunscreen, reapplication of sunscreen. Like if you wear makeup to work, I always use the sunscreen brush so that, you can reapply. Because it's obviously difficult putting it again. But yeah, reapplication. And night, of course, cleansing, retinol or glycolic acid, and then moisturizer. Very simple and sorted.
It's working for you.
Thank you.
Where can people find you, Dr. Shruti?
So I'm at the Medcare Medical Center at Al Barsha.
If you want those details, just send me the word doctor and I will send you those over. But we have a number of people wanting to ask about mole mapping, and I think it's very, very hard to get an idea on the SMS. So if you want those details, I just send me the word doctor. I will send you Dr. Shruti's info so you can contact her direct. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
I'm going to go and reapply my sunscreen. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to show you the link of what I'm using just to make sure I'm on the right track. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
This content is for informational purposes only and does not intend to substitute professional medical advice, diagnosis or treatment.